think therapy is really valuable. Like you've been in and out of therapy for the last couple years, and you walked away feeling like you got value from it. Like you learned some stuff about yourself. Like you have a better understanding of maybe how your childhood has impacted your current situation or your current relationships. Maybe you learned some really helpful coping strategies around how to reduce anxiety, and maybe specifically social anxiety about going out into public and making friends as an adult. Or perhaps you learned helpful techniques and strategies about how to communicate with your ex that leaves you feeling more regulated and balanced than it used to. Maybe you learned how to better understand and make sense of the crazy that comes when your partner shuts down and withdraws and you feel like it's your fault. But it's hard to take what we learn in a 45 or 60-minute session and apply those theoretical and abstract thoughts to our specific and unique situations. It's almost like, I wish that I had a therapist in my back pocket that I could just call or consult around certain situations or events. Like, how do I set boundaries with my parent who continuously ask really sensitive and personal questions about my dating life, about my sex life, about how much money I make at work? It just feels like they're entitled to know everything about me, but that doesn't feel good because I'm not a kid, I'm an adult. Or how do I respond in a way that is loving to my partner, but also honors my own personal experience and the feelings that kind of come up for me in a way that doesn't cause them to shut down or cause me to want to run away, And so it's hard, right? Like, how do we take things that we learn in therapy and learn how to implement them and apply them to our lives without having to go to more therapy for the next 6 months or a year? I have created a 4-month group coaching experience because what I have found to be true is that we don't heal in isolation. We heal when we're connected to other people, and not just anyone. When we're connected to other people who have similar types of experiences or in a similar type of life stage that I'm in, that you have some knowledge, like you have some general understanding of how you got here in this space, right? But you're also recognizing that there's still some more work to do, because going to therapy, doing the work is kind of like gardening. First we have to recognize that it's kind of an eyesore, that the garden is not really a garden. It's kind of like a dump that's overgrown and kind of a hot mess, to be honest. And then once we recognize that, yeah, you know what? I don't want this to look like this anymore. I'm tired of this. Then we have to go in and do kind of the grunt work of taking out all the overgrown stuff and the weeds and the trash and the random odds and ends of things, and how do they even get there in the first place, so that we can plant seeds and flowers and roses and other beautiful plants so they can grow and they can flourish. And then once we have that set, we step back and we're like, wow, this looks really good. I'm really proud of this. But that's not enough. We don't just cultivate a garden and set it and forget it. That we can't just, put it on autopilot, create more efficient processes and be good. We have to tend to it. Sometimes daily, definitely weekly, for sure monthly. But what does that entail? Do I water too much? Am I underwatering? How do I prune these certain roses? How do I take care of certain plants? Do I need to put food into the soil? Do I need to fertilize it? There's all these questions. And sometimes we just need a guide to help us kind of make sense of where we're at currently, but also how do I continue to grow and evolve in my emotional maturity, in my ability to communicate, in the ways in which of figuring out how do I step into being the kind of parent that I want to be for my kids. And so this is what I'm going to help you with. I'm going to help you gain more clarity around the pieces of your story that still feel a bit elusive. Like something's amiss, but you don't really know what, and you definitely don't know what to do about it. To help you kind of figure out too, what are some of the steps and strategies around fostering and cultivating healthy relationships? How do I make friends as an adult? And also, how do I have friendships that aren't just superficial, but actually have depth and meaning and significance? So I'd love for you to join. It's a 4-month group coaching experience that is going to provide you a safe place to land, to get curious, and to find meaningful connections with other people, with yourself, so that you can better understand yourself and implement the strategies of what health and healing and growing looks like. I can't wait to see you.